2NA. Okay, all right, we're on record for a review. May I have the names of our participants, please?
Carson Howard, lawyer, guardian ad litem.
Ms. Taja Thomas, counsel for the department. Ms. Kopus.
Eva Kopus, child welfare specialist with Lebanon County DHS.
Michael McFarland, representing Ms. Boker.
Heather Boker, mother.
We are on for permanency planning review as well, and just confirmed that. And do we have, is Blake Lewis here? Okay, just checking.
No, ma'am.
All right. Well, okay, let's start with our guardian ad litem report.
Your Honor, I was able to meet with the children via Zoom on December 20th, 2024. The oldest child, very happy to meet me and see me. He was playing, I believe, Fortnite was the game he was playing, and we were able to talk about his visits with his mother, which he, stated were going very well, and he was excited. This was prior to Christmas. He was excited to see his mom again on Christmas, and continue to keep visiting with her. The oldest is happy, healthy, and he's reported to be making age-appropriate school progress. During the virtual visit, I was able to observe the younger child. He has, special needs, but grandma has, and he does have a great support system around him between grandma, dad, and mom at his visits is making a lot of progress and being able to care and help him out. During the visit, I observed him watch what his grandma described as how-to videos, which are, I think he was watching how to chairlifts work to get handicapped people into their car. So really interesting, and something that he does enjoy. He seems to be doing really well with his current routine with staying at his grandma's during the week, and his dad comes to pick him up on Fridays. And I don't know if that's changed at all with, but he's even so accustomed to it that he said this was a Friday, and he was actually waiting for his dad to come pick him up on Friday. So after reviewing the court report, I'm very pleased to see how the mother is benefiting from the program she's doing. The children seem to really enjoy her, and she's making a lot of progress with the visits. And at this point, I do not believe there's any risk of harm of returning the children to their mother's care. And I would recommend that it's in the best interest for these children, for the court to release jurisdiction of these children.
Yeah. Ms. Thomas?
Thank you, Your Honor. If Ms. Kopus can be sworn in, please.
Not sure what you're saying.
You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. Whenever you're ready.
Okay. Thank you. Ms. Kopus, you've prepared a court report for today's hearing, and it includes the report itself, a case service plan, a list of drug screens, the Orchards Family Children Foster Care Visitation Support Program, L&L Parent Aid Observation Logs, the appointment for the youngest child, and an alleged biological father, and then your proof of service. Are there any updates or modifications that need to be made to any of those documents that I've just listed?
Yes, I have been in contact with Ms. Boker's probation officer, Cora Gibson, and she did indicate to me that 2 of the screens, I believe they are for the 22nd and 23rd of December. They were initially noted as positives for alcohol and marijuana. One of those screens has been sent for confirmation and was found to not be positive. And the second screen was not labeled correctly and has been removed from her list. So her screens are all clean. She did have a periodic one with the department. I apologize for not attaching that, but that screen was also random and clean.
Okay, thank you for that. And are there any other updates?
Ms. Boker has also provided logs of her AA and NA meetings that I did not attach to the court report, but I do want the court to be aware that she does provide them regularly, and the dates are consistent with her attending 2 to 3 times a week NA and AA meetings.
At this point in time, do you believe that there's a risk of harm if the court were to return the children to mom's care and custody today?
I don't. Mother has showed benefit from her services. She continues to do well. Her service providers report that she is gaining knowledge and seems to be benefiting from the services. When I met with her to do her home assessment at the end of December, we went through the court report thoroughly. She had good questions. She understands what is expected of her moving forward, what she needs to do to maintain her own sobriety and mental health, not just for herself, but for her children moving forward. She does have a good family support system in place. They continue to support her. They've always supported her. If anything, we've helped secure boundaries so that they understand like expectations moving forward so that to not end up in a similar situation. But mother has done well this reporting period and the family has done well as well.
I notice that your recommendation is to maintain jurisdiction on the youngest child. Can you just briefly reiterate why that is the recommendation at this time?
The only reason we had wanted to maintain that was because we had the outstanding DNA testing. Has nothing to do with mother's progress. I believe that she will continue to do well with her children. It was only because of we had that pending DNA testing.
If the court were to terminate jurisdiction on the family today, would any of the services that the family is engaged in end?
To my knowledge, the only service that would end is the L&L parenting aid, which was a service we were already planning to slowly pull out of. During the holidays, we had allowed the grandmother to supervise parenting time so the children could have Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's, and those appear to have gone well.
Would the department still be able to assist, or I guess I'm guessing the department is paying for the DNA test that was ordered by the court?
It's my knowledge that since that is already referral made and the services is pending, that we would still be able to continue with that.
Okay. Have you spoke with the family about terminating jurisdiction and what that would look like on a day-to-day basis for the family moving forward?
I've spoken with father briefly about that. When we did speak, we had originally spoken regarding Bentley during our home visit and what that looked like and the expectations. And then I've also had that conversation with mother regarding that matter.
Is there anything else from the court report that you would like to highlight for the court today?
I'd like to reiterate this family does work well together. I have seen I've seen Mr. Fox and Ms. Boker co-parent. I've seen them communicate. I have seen progress in that area and I anticipate that it will continue to grow. They do appear to understand the expectations and what they need to do to keep the kids safe, but also to help mom maintain her sobriety.
If the court were to release jurisdiction of the family, other than the DNA situation, it sounds like that's something you would be agreeable to.
Yes.
Okay. With that, Your Honor, I have no further questions of Ms. Kopis and would move to admit the court report and the attachments.
No objection.
No objection.
Okay, fair received. Questions, Mr. McFarland?
So on the DNA test, the samples had not been taken. You have an appointment scheduled. Is that what I understand?
Yes, I did make some effort to see if the surrounding counties had a sooner appointment, given that that referral was made in October. And unfortunately, I was told they did not.
So even if this court were to close jurisdiction on all the children, that would still proceed, from what I'm hearing. Is that correct?
That is my understanding, yes.
The mom could do a friend of the court, request for a paternity or anything else that she might want to do with those results, correct?
Correct.
Or even without those results, she could still go to the friend of the court and they would order a putative father to undergo DNA testing, right?
It would leave the control back in Ms. Boker's hands, yes.
And it sounds as though you're confident that she would proceed on that matter if this case were closed and you were not doing DNA for some reason if that happened. Is that my understanding?
I believe that she would follow through in what she thought was Brody's best interest.
Okay. Nothing further.
Questions?
No, Your Honor.
Ah, okay. So when did you start on this case? When did you take over? In October?
No. I've had this case the entirety that it's been open since February of 2024.
Okay. It says, oh, yeah, okay. So we've got caseworker organization change.
Oh, I apologize. I had a small medical leave in November, and so I was not on this case for 14 days.
Okay, thank you for clarifying. So I'm just looking at my notes from prior hearings and it looks like, you know, as of September, there were significant concerns about Ms. Boker. You were asking for a reduction in parenting time. She had just accumulated a felony resisting arrest in June, distributing sexually explicit materials. There's still those criminal charges pending.
Those criminal charges are pending, but they are working on them. It's my understanding that she will be entering a plea agreement regarding those and that they will not be resulting in her serving jail time.
Okay. Did she move back in with her mother or her grandmother then?
Maternal grandmother, I believe she calls her Mima, or Mammy, I'm sorry. She moved back into their home following our last hearing. I do believe in my conversations with Ms. Boker that the custody hearing in regards to Briella was a rock bottom for her, and she really did make some pivotal changes following that hearing.
3 months ago? 2 months ago?
I believe that was in October, yes.
Okay. Okay, because in July, we had drug screens positive for THC and buprenorphine and Suboxone without a prescription. She was waitlisted for Orchards, but was working with Linda Edwards and only attended 7 out of 23 visits. So I guess I'm wondering what actual period of sobriety we have that we're working with for Ms. Boker. And I mean, she also had a no contact with the person she's now living with. It just seems like there's been a lot of really significant changes in the last 3 months. And I'm concerned about how we can count on that being stable moving forward if we close jurisdiction. Could you speak to that?
Yeah, I do want to clarify, she moved back into the Brooklyn address, which is Miss Boker's maternal grandparents. The no contact was with her own mother, and that has been lifted from my understanding, talking with probation officer Cora Gibson about that. So she's not living with the relative that there was a no contact order. My conversations with both of them is that they do appear to understand how that came about and how to move forward with it. I have yet to see any conflict in their contact with each other. It's been mostly beneficial and supportive of each other. And it's something that they were asking for even before that was lifted, was how to support each other in this next role. And I apologize, you asked a question before that. And I literally forgot it.
Is she living with the children and the place? Okay.
No.
All right. There's a lot of family members here.
Yes, ma'am.
And it was not entirely clear from the report in my notes and comparing these things. So the other issue, the big issue that I'm grappling with is the significant amount of changes that have happened in the last 3 months and a sobriety period that is really less than 6 months at this point. And whether or not that could affect the stability of the children moving forward if we were to release jurisdiction.
I would be asking for the children. I understand the LGL had requested the children be returned to mom, but right now I would be requesting the children remain with Mr. Fox, as he is the non-respondent parent, but they have proven to be able to co-parent. He has proven before when she has caused issues that she will contact law enforcement to keep the children safe in his home, and he has continued to do that.
As of the last report period, Ms. Boker was looking forward to another member of her family with Mr. Fox. Are they still playing together?
They have kept their distance when the children are around. I haven't, in my conversations with Bentley, I obviously have not had deep conversations with Brody. Mother has not had access to the children outside of what the department has allowed. It does appear that they do keep their communications outside of the children, away from them.
All right, so Do you know if they intend to move the children and move in together immediately if the jurisdiction of the court closes?
That was not my understanding. My understanding that was Ms. Booker was continuing. Right now, she's unable to seek employment due to her pregnancy, and she's had some difficulty obtaining jobs. My understanding is that she will be seeking independent housing with his support following the end of this case. Mr. Fox also cares for his grandmother, and so she's also priority in his home.
But the children are residing with grandparents, is that right?
They reside Monday through Friday with maternal grandmother, and then they reside with dad the remainder of the week, yes.
Okay. But there's nothing legally speaking to maintain that arrangement in place if the court releases jurisdiction. Okay. Redirect, Ms. Thomas?
Yes, Ms. Kopis, as it relates to the court's questions of you, what is your understanding of where the custody case is between Mr. Fox and Ms. Boker?
My understanding is that we had a hearing today regarding that matter. And the hope for the department was that Mr. Fox would continue with his custody of the children. I'm not sure how it's worded. I apologize.
No, that's okay. All right. And at the last hearing, the understanding was that the children were released to Mr. Fox under the supervision of the department. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And do you believe that there would be any change to the children's routine without additional court oversight through the child protective proceedings?
I don't believe there would be many changes to their routine.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I have no further questions, Your Honor. Thank you.
Questions, Mr. McGrath?
Just one. If my client were to stipulate to father in this custody case, having physical custody of parenting time is agreeable with father, the agency support that as being an acceptable outcome?
We would be supportive of that. Mr. Fox has proven that he is able to keep the children safe. Yes.
Thank you. Nothing further.
Questions?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you for your testimony. We return to your seat.
Thank you.
Any other witnesses today, Ms. Thomas?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. McGrath?
I'd like to call my client, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. Ms. Walker, come on up.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Your Honor, before I begin, I just want to let the court know that my intention is to ask her about custody and then call Mr. Fox, if that's okay with the court.
It's your case, Mr. McGrath.
Thank you. I thought maybe we could kill two birds with one stone rather than two hearings. I don't know.
Well, we'd have to call them concurrently. We're on record only in one matter at this point.
Could we possibly then call them concurrently? I can't represent her on the custody case, but I can ask her those questions on this case.
Well, clearly I can take judicial notice.
Sure, we'll do that. How would you like me to address you today?
Oh, you just call me Heather.
Okay. Would you say that Ms. Kopas's statements about your progress are accurate?
Yes.
And I know the court has some concerns about the shortness of your sobriety, about 3 months. What do you have as far as supports if you feel an urge to relapse?
Well, like Ava said as well, you know, like the whole custody with my daughter and with all this going on, it really upset me, honestly. So if I can't do it for them, then I can't do it for
Yes.
myself. So
My question would be, who would you contact if you feel the urge to relapse? Yeah.
my mom or Anthony, and I live with my grandma, so I talk to her a lot.
So you have family that you would immediately contact?
Yeah.
Okay. You and I have had a brief discussion about Mr. Fox having full physical custody of the children. Is that something you're agreeable with?
Yes.
Your parenting time as he determines to be appropriate, is that also what you're telling me? Okay. You think that you and he can work things out as far as the parenting time issues, holidays, things of that nature?
Yes.
We state everything that you wish to state?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Questions, Ms. Thomas?
I have none, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr.
No,
Howard?
Your Honor.
All right, so the arrangement currently is that your children are staying with grandparents during the week. Is it your intention to leave that in place?
Yeah, I don't plan to uproot them again.
Are you going to be asking the court to make that part of the order in the custody and visitation case?
I would allow that. Yeah, I would allow that to where they stay with grandma. Does that mean I would be able to go stay at my mom's when the kids are there?
That would be up to, if the court is closed in this jurisdiction, that would be up to whoever's, your mom, or whoever has their
Yeah.
kids.
Okay.
Okay, questions?
No, thank you.
Ms. Thomas, questions on my questions?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Howard?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you for your testimony. May you return to your seat.
I would call Mr. Fox, Your Honor.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Fox, come on up.
You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Must apologize, and I didn't warn you I was going to call you, okay?
All right.
How would you like me to address you?
Mr. Fox is fine.
Mr. Fox, you heard my client's answer about custody. Is it your desire that you have physical custody of the children?
That would be in the best interest, I believe.
Okay. And do you believe that you and mother can make a mutually agreeable parenting time schedule for her?
Absolutely.
You heard the question the judge asked about the children remaining with her mother while you're not available. Is that what you would wish to be incorporated in that order also?
Yes. So my youngest son, Brody, if you start messing with his schedule, it messes with him mentally. So we need to keep that the same.
Anything else you wish to add today?
No.
See if any other attorneys have questions for you.
Ms. Thomas?
I have none, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. Howard?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you for your testimony. May you return to your seat.
No further witnesses, Your Honor.
Anyone you'd like us to hear from today, Mr. Howard?
No, Your Honor.
Very well. Comments in closing, Ms. Thomas?
Thank you, Your Honor. I understand the court's position sort of on the recency of the stabilized progress that we're seeing in this review period. I believe that the department can no longer meet its burden in saying that there's a risk of harm to the children. We're proving that as relates to mother, considering that the children have a non-respondent father. All of the family members are in support of the two children that are in this court's jurisdiction to remain in their current living arrangement. And so I would defer to the court's opinion on, whether to terminate jurisdiction or not. But we do want to acknowledge that Ms. Booker has made significant progress in this review period. Thank you.
Mr. McFarland?
We would ask that jurisdiction be terminated. We understand that the children would, at least my client's opinion and Mr. Fox's opinion is that the children would not be returned to mother. They would be residing with father, and he'd be making decisions about mother's parenting time, and they appear to be on the same page with that. So I think there's safeguards in line there. Thank you.
Mr. Howard?
Yeah, I'd just like to reiterate that I'm of the belief that the risk of harm with mother is passed, and that the support system surrounding the family is very strong and in the best interest of the two children.
To
To terminate jurisdiction.
Okay, thank you. Well, the court finds all interested parties are given notice for purposes of today's review and permanency planning hearing. The goal of reunification is appropriate in this case. The goals of the services are, I would say, at best in progress as it relates to Ms. Boker. Balancing that against what would appear to be potential stabilization for the family, even taking a break and looking at the circuit court case does present a way forward for the family that would allow the court to release jurisdiction. However, that has not been put into place as of yet. And I do have a very brief period of sobriety from Ms. Boker. So I am going to extend the case for one additional review period in order to see Ms. Boker's continued sobriety and the finalization of stability as it relates to the two children under the disposition of the court, as well as to allow that DNA testing to take place as requested by Ms. Kopis. This is a situation where we've had progress up and down. Obviously, the involvement of Mr. Fox with Ms. Boker as well. I'm going to leave it at the family's discretion as to whether or not, when, and how to allow Ms. Boker contact with the children. And we'll see how they do in the next review period with the ability to work nearly independently, but still with the support of Ms. Kopis and the eye of the department and the court on the situation. For example, if something happens at the pretrial, we're in the very serious charges currently leveled at Ms. Boker result in incarceration or something else. That could be a major change for the family. Relapse could clearly be a major change for the family and for Ms. Boker and for the condition of the child that she's carrying at this time. Ms. Boker knows, I've spoken to her about this before, that any use of substances during pregnancy is considered a contemptible situation by this court and could potentially result in incarceration in order to ensure the healthy development of the child during the pendency of the pregnancy. There's just a lot of really serious things on the line. And I'd like to give the family a chance to demonstrate that they're able to manage it in the way that they have asserted that they can do. And so that will be the ruling of the court moving forward. Children will remain under the jurisdiction of the court, but released to Mr. Anthony Fox, as well as the youngest child to Mr. Valentino, with the period of time to be as determined by the family. And Ms. Kopis will just be keeping an eye on things and doing some either random drug testing or checking in with the probation department or pretrial services, wherever it may be, to ensure that Ms. Boker's continuing her sobriety path and those services to support that.
Yes, ma'am.
That makes sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So let me give you a review date. We probably end up with a slightly shortened review period. They're running out of remember. Let's go with, let's see.
Madam, if I could just make a note for your calculations. The DNA is, I know we're waiting on that as well, isn't scheduled till about January 24th, 25th. And then we usually say approximately a month after that to get the results. So just if you're adding that into your math.
Thank you. I was looking at the afternoon of Wednesday, February 26th. At 1:30?
It
Does that work
might
for
be
everyone?
better. I was just say, just might be better to go out one more week just in case there's slow processing on the DNA.
Well, I'd love to accommodate that, but I have a trial scheduled for that entire week.
Okay. Okay.
And then unfortunately, after that, it gets into a lot of other very busy.
Yeah.
days.
I will be on top of it for these results.
Yes, so just let us know. We'll try to carve out some time if it's not done by that point. So short review period, we'll see what the family does with it, but I am maintaining the jurisdiction of the court until at least the 26th of February at 1:30. That'll be our next review and permanency planning hearing. Unless there's any questions, that's all for today.
Should my client wait for a copy of the order or be emailed to her?
She can wait for it, and also we're gonna be on record in the circuit court case in a few moments, so she's gonna be.
Excited.
I know that.